This episode is generously sponsored by infertilityunfiltered.com. They're a great resource. They have a platform for all sorts of things. If you are interested in learning about donor conception, about surrogacy, about fertility treatment, if you're grieving over the loss of not getting pregnant at home, they're available for so many things and provide a community, a sisterhood of people who can really help you through your process. So check them out, infertilityunfiltered.com. If you or someone you love is going through fertility treatment, do you ever wonder why it's so difficult for the couple? Well, today I'm going to talk about that because it is difficult for couples. And although everyone is different, very often there are trends and patterns that we see in couples, whether you're a heterosexual couple going through infertility treatment just to start, trying to get pregnant at home, or a queer couple who's going through fertility treatment and starting with it and finding that they're having trouble. It doesn't really matter. Usually people fall into patterns, and these patterns are very hard to get out of. And today I'm going to talk about that on this episode. Welcome to Building Your Family. This is a podcast about fertility treatment, donor conception, surrogacy, and all the ways the modern family is built. My name is Lisa Schumann. I'm your host. I'm an author, a therapist, a researcher, and I'm passionate about helping people have a better path to parenthood. And on today's podcast, I'm going to address a very difficult issue, and that is couples. So when couples meet, what happens? They meet each other, they fall in love, they feel like the world is their oyster. They feel like everything around them just works out their way. And the world reinforces that, right? Because everything up until then has worked that way. We go to school, we work hard, we get good grades. We go to work, we work hard, we get a promotion or we get a raise. So we feel like when we put our energy into something, usually good things come from that. And why should family building be any different? We feel like we found our perfect match and we are going to build the family of our dreams. And that's wonderful. But it doesn't always happen the way that we expect. And when fertility treatments don't work or infertility ensues, we can have problems that we just don't expect. So what happens? You're on this road to parenthood, and then all of a sudden, things aren't working. You need more treatment. You need more testing. All of a sudden, your schedules are blocked up. You can't go on vacation because you have to go to the fertility doctor. Now you're spending more and more money in ways that you never thought about, and you're wondering about that, and that's causing more stress. For heterosexual couples, getting pregnant at home is a very difficult thing to think about because sex is involved, and you're thinking that sex is no longer fun because it's just for procreation. If you're a gay couple, maybe you're thinking that you're too depressed or you're just too stressed out, and so sex is no longer fun. You don't feel romantic. You don't feel happy. All of a sudden, things are just not working out. And everybody starts to feel more stressed. Now, at this point, very often, the two people in the couple fall into two different categories. And yes, people have all different ways of relating, but very often people fall in these two different categories that I'm going to explain to you now. Now, first, you should know that research has showed us that infertility can cause very significant depression. Depression that is so significant, in fact, that it's equal to people who are going through chemotherapy for cancer treatment. And so we can feel very, very depressed when we go through infertility treatment unsuccessfully. Now, very often the person who's feeling depressed is one person in the couple. Very often the other person is a person who has a character of somebody who's a little bit more optimistic. So that person feels a little bit better about their future. They don't really like to think that things are not going well. They want to be optimistic. And so they take the doctor's instructions and they move forward. They say, okay, yes, this is not what we wanted, but we have a plan for the future and let's follow that plan and we'll be fine. Whereas the other partner is feeling more and more depressed. Now, very often people look at these people in a couple as a man and a woman. Many of you have read that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And yes, that categorizes people into male and female. But in a gay couple, this is the same situation where One person feels a little bit more pragmatic and optimistic, and the other person is more likely to feel a little bit more obsessional and depressed. So if you can see a fertility counselor, that person can really help you get into a better place. These people are really valuable in helping you get to a better place, understanding what you're dealing with, and also giving you guidance, because this is all confusing. There's so much to learn in the process, and fertility treatment is very, very complicated for anyone, particularly those of us who don't remember our 10th grade biology class, because even the basics can be confusing. And then on top of it, you're spending a lot of money and you're going to doctor's appointments and your schedule is upside down. There's so much to consider. So getting some guidance and some clarity is really helpful. But basically, what you're dealing with is two different people who are trying to look at their goal in the same way, but are really struggling to. Now, for most people, when they start their relationship, they see life the same. They feel like we look at life with the same set of eyes. We have the same goals for our future. We feel the same way about religion or culture or about all sorts of things. And we really feel like we're going to build our family and have the same views of life. And although that is beautiful, it's not always that realistic. And people find out over time that life is just not that way. What they find out is that people die early. Sometimes things happen to good people that shouldn't happen. Sometimes awful things happen in work or in families that they never expected. And so slowly the belief system starts to change for the couple. People start as they get older to understand that there are difficulties in life. But usually when people face infertility, this is the first time they have had a crisis in their life. They haven't grown older and experienced all of these losses and difficulties together. And so it's a kind of shocking way to learn about life's injustices. And so it catapults these two people into different frames of reference very often, because this is the systems that they use to deal with crisis. And up until now, that hasn't been called upon. Up until now, they haven't needed to resort to their ways of coping, but they do. In this situation, one person very often acts differently than the other. So, for the sake of argument, let's call these people person A and person B. Now, person A is an optimist. As I mentioned, this person really likes to look at life as a glass half full. So, what is this person going to do? They're going to go about life in a practically normal way. They may like to watch TV or do things that they like to do and then check in with a fertility treatment when they need to. Partner B doesn't feel that way. Partner B feels that it's really important to look through every decision tree. Partner B feels like they have to scour the internet for every single possibility of anything that can go wrong. Partner B may feel like they have to get a million different opinions from different doctors. Partner B wants to look at every angle. They are pragmatists. They are planners. They really like to think everything through. And sometimes it can get obsessional. So they're looking at partner A feeling like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? How can you watch TV or play golf or do all of these things and be happy when we have this life crisis going on? Partner A says, well, I don't really have anything to worry about until our next treatment fails. Up until then, I'm just going to assume that things work. Partner B feels like, how could you be so lackadaisical about it? I don't really understand that. And partner B starts to think that partner A doesn't care so much. So partner B feels so isolated and depressed and feels like, how can this happen to me? My partner who used to love me and feel like all they wanted to do was to be a parent is now looking at me once in a while, not paying much attention to me because they can't stand that I'm depressed all the time, and not getting involved with me in all of my research because they feel like they don't need to. So maybe they actually don't care that much. Maybe they're really not interested in having children. And maybe I really felt like we were the same, but we're not. Now, at the same time, partner A is thinking, I don't really understand what happened to my partner B. Partner B is feeling so depressed all the time. And I married this person who was happy and lighthearted and excited about the world and so thrilled about things. And now I feel like my partner is this mess, this ball of sadness, and just can't get out of it. And I don't really understand who that person is anymore. So now the couple feels so divided. They feel so upset. They feel like they have nowhere to run to. They don't really understand. And they will do what comes naturally to them. Maybe partner A will isolate. Maybe partner B will talk to all of their friends. Maybe partner A will start to think, how could partner B talk to everybody about this? This is really private information. Both people will start to feel more and more differently as time goes on. Then more issues will come up like finances, like taking a break from treatment, like making a decision to use a donor or to use a surrogate. And as these decisions come up, they will have more and more differences and feel more and more alone and feel more and more strain in their relationship. And this is so difficult to navigate because both of them need to be on the same page about so many of these issues. They need to move forward in treatment to be successful. But if they're very depressed and arguing, how can they pursue treatment successfully? It's really not possible. So the answer is that they have to get on the same page. But how do they do that if they feel so differently? The answer is they have to accept that they are different people. Maybe when they met, they felt like they were completely compatible and they looked at the world with the same set of eyes and everything was going to be blissful. But now it's not. Now they can't recognize each other anymore. Now they feel so upset and angry and disappointed in each other. They really need to understand that what they're missing is acceptance. They need to accept that they're different people. They need to accept that this life crisis has thrown them into a place where their coping skills are very different. And that's okay. They both have to appreciate that they're going to respond differently in crises, that both of them see things differently, and that's okay. And they are going to need to come to some compromise when it comes to all of these decisions. Now, neither person is going to have all of what they want. And maybe they feel like they're digging in their heels and they really need to get all of what they want, but they're a couple and they need to find a mutually agreeable solution. And that is the key. They need to accept how the other person feels, not judge the other person for how they're behaving or how they're feeling, but accept that I love this person. I fell in love with them for a lot of good reasons, and I need to remember those reasons and remember that this person is hurting and this is the way that they're handling it, and it's okay. This is how they're going to manage their pain. And I need to understand and appreciate their pain and come up with some mutually agreeable solutions so we can feel united as a team, so we can move forward as a team. And from that place, as a team, once they're on the same page, once they can appreciate each other's points of view and start to move forward, then they can address other people. Because other people are going to be throwing in all kinds of opinions and comments, and that's going to put more difficulty into the mix. And it's going to be very hard for them to come together as a united front if they're not on the same page. So they really need to feel united as a team, and then they can make decisions about how they're going to handle comments from family and friends, how they're going to handle these decisions about finances, about treatment processes, and about the future together. But first, they need to get together and appreciate that they're two different people fighting for the same goal. They want a happy marriage and they want a family. And that's what they need to do. And if they can do that successfully, they could have a beautiful relationship because most couples who suffer infertility treatment and get through it together find that they're even closer because of it. And I'm sure you don't want to hear that, but it is the silver lining to this problem. It is a difficult situation for anyone to deal with, but particularly for couples to get on the same page. So please understand that if you feel differently than your partner, it's okay. You need to accept it and get together so you can find a mutually agreeable solution to this common problem. I hope that helps. And remember, you are two people fighting together for the same goal. You both want a beautiful relationship and a beautiful family, and you can do that together. And if you need some help, please reach out to me. I am here to help you. You can reach out to me at familybuilding.net anytime. We're here to make your journey easier. Hi, it's Lisa Schumann. I hope that you enjoyed that video and I hope it helped you. And if it did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe because that's how we keep going. It's really important to us. And if you liked it, you might like this one.